Hi, how do you do? Could you state your name so that the viewers will know
Sure.
who you are?
This is Kirpal Singh from the Singapore Management University.
And you're here to present, you were on the panel speakers earlier today.
Yeah, on the roundtable discussion, and I talked about the whole issue of religion and how writers approach it or don't approach it. And the fact that, to me, religion presents all of us a huge challenge in today's world, because we live in a very troubled, albeit globalized world, where I think at the back of it all, religion is a very prime driving force of how we're going to move forward.
What is your religious background first?
My religious background is essentially Sikh. I'm a sort of Sikh.
What does that mean?
This is, Sikhism.
It's not like Buddhism, Muslim?
No, it was founded by Guru Nanak. He was a Hindu,
okay.
but he was disillusioned with Hinduism. And so he also had the effects of the Islamic culture, because he was very friendly with many Muslims around him. And so I think he tried to develop a religion which would be a very beautiful synthesis of Islam and Hinduism.
Was the other person on the same panel also a Sikh?
Yes,
he also?
Amrit.
Why?
He's also a Sikh. Yeah.
I'm just curious. Why is the color? Why is it the color? The same color? Why is the color the same?
Pure coincidence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, this morning I nearly wanted to wear blue.
Oh, okay.
I thought, no, I'll wear red.
No. The reason I ask is sometimes the color has symbolic relevance.
I think any color other than black and white is fine.
Oh, okay. Why not black and white?
Red is a very jubilant color,
Oh, yes,
celebrates
that's
life
true.
and all that.
Why not black or white? What are those?
Well, black and white are more somber colors.
Oh.
And I mean, at my age, I should sort of wear white, like I'm an old man. But I kid myself thinking that the longer I postpone wearing a white turban, the more I have to live.
Do you mean that okay, but there is no like if you have to wear white if you're an elder in your community, there is no such.
No, you don't. But usually you do. I mean,
okay.
Custom would expect you to, because an old man wearing a very bright color is like, how you're trying to be young. It's like my daughters. If I try to use words that they're using, they say, Dad, it's not your lingo. All right, so that kind of thing. Even the word cool, so if I tell my girl, they say, hey, darling, that's cool. They'll say, Dad, and the eyes sort of make that coin like, this is not your word.
You have an amazingly fantastic English accent. Like, you don't have an Indian accent. Is it because a lot of people in India...
My mother is Scottish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you
I should
spoke...
actually have a Glaswegian accent, right?
Did you speak Scottish when you were young?
Not really.
But you weren't born in... You weren't born in Scotland?
No, I was born in Singapore. Because Mum met Dad in Singapore.
Right.
Yeah.
What about your parents' religious backgrounds?
Well, Sikh. Yeah, Sikhism.
Oh, okay, Sikh. So all of them, both of them are...
Well, Mum would be more like Christian, that sort of background. Yeah.
All right. But it goes down your father's side.
Yeah. Well, normally you follow your father, right?
Right.
Not the mother's religion. Very, very rarely you follow the mother's. Yeah.
Right. But we were talking earlier about the effects of drugs on nation states and how it's possibly a form of terrorism. What do you think in India? Are drugs a major problem?
I don't think so. I mean, part of the thing. I mean, I'm now not very familiar with what's actually going on the ground in India, since I haven't visited it for about 10 years. But my sense is that in India, the so-called drug culture is either a way of life, meaning that we didn't know we were doing bad things until we were told we're doing bad things. Like, I mean, it was like a normal, daily diet. And nobody bothered about it because nobody overemphasized it. Nobody was too affected by it.
What are the major drugs used? Opium or marijuana or hashish?
Opium in its many different varieties.
Is hashish something that's still popular?
Yeah, hashish has always been there. It's sort of, there are high points and low points. But hashish is a very minor, weak kind of drug. I mean, it's not big. But varieties of opium are the harder drugs. But I think like my grandmother used to make curries with poppy seeds, right in there. So. And
you think poppy seeds are a drug? What do you mean?
No, I mean, poppy seeds is a version of opium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Poppy seeds?
Yeah.
So if I eat poppy seeds with my bagel, I'm eating opium?
I think they're not legal anymore, right?
Poppy seeds?
Yeah.
No, really? I
Yeah, I
didn't know
think
that.
so. I think they're taken off the shelves a long time ago, like 20
Oh.
years ago.
Oh, maybe I
Up
mean.
to about 20 years ago they were there, but now they've
Huh.
been removed. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
And all right. So, what about you said that you have been accused of being a terrorist before,
No,
or
no,
not
I'm
not not in the
accused of being a terrorist.
not in
But airports in
the.
America, they worry whether I'm a terrorist.
So it's the you're talking about the symbolism of what you wear and how you look that
That's
sometimes groups you
That's
in
right.
as a terrorist and
Kind of
you're
stereotype,
accused.
yeah.
Have you had an incident where somebody really harassed you because of the way you
A
look?
couple of times. I mean, once in a little place called Macomb,
Mhm.
in Illinois. People did stop me, and another time in just outside of New York, on 9th Avenue, a couple of guys stopped me and actually said, are you Muslim? Like, very, very threateningly.
Mhm.
And it's only when I showed them my bangle and told them that I was not,
Mhm.
that they sort of backed off.
What is the bingo?
Bangle, like a bracelet. Yeah.
Oh, what is it? What does it mean? Why did they?
Sikhs wear bracelets.
So they actually knew
yeah.
what that meant. I wouldn't have known what
Oh
it
no,
what it
so
meant.
if you Google Sikhism
Yeah.
on Wikipedia, you'll get to know that Sikhs,
No.
Sikhs wear all kinds of things. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay, but they figured out that you were definitely not
yeah,
a Muslim.
and they invited me for a beer, and I drank
Oh.
beer and drank wine. So then they thought, okay, you're all right.
It wasn't funny beer. It wasn't.
Yeah.
They didn't put anything in the beer.
So that's not, yeah. But I think the more important point I was making is that we have to be very careful about stereotyping people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And how do you think? What would you advise if you could advise the last point, the last question? If you could give policy advice to the American president and to the president of your own country, what would your advice be on policy on racial profiling and something like the drug trade? Some of the a couple of these issues.
Well, I think I would I mean, I'm sure the President of America and my own Prime Minister have the best advisors they can get from anywhere. But my private version to them would be the answer lies in education. And I think the more they aggressively pursue these issues in the classroom and educate the young people about these issues, the better the world is going to be 10 years from now.
Do you mean teaching the young people about how it's inappropriate to profile people and how can somebody be educated
Well,
not
if you
to
tell the young
discriminate?
people that the whole idea of stereotyping, that if you belong to a certain race, you therefore have these personality traits, that is erroneous, that the world is becoming very, very harmonious because people are marrying each other all over the place. If more of these examples are cited, if more positive feedback is given to the young, then the young will be prevented from becoming exactly like their parents and their grandparents who hold and harbor a lot of these prejudices. So that's what I'm trying to say. Prejudice is very hard to eradicate, and I don't think legislation alone actually goes very far in the eradication of this. But what goes further is experience. So international travel, young people traveling, everywhere as exchange students and all of that. I see this happening more and more. And the young people being exposed to all manner of different, sort of races, religions, and cultures in the classroom is going to have a far more positive effect than all the best legislation in the world.
Yes, well, thank you so very much for
Thank
speaking
you
with
very
me.
much.